everybody, I hope you're well. Today I will read from a book titled Everyday Technology, Machines and the Making of India's Modernity by David Arnold, published by the University of Chicago Press. In April 2011, the long-established Indian firm of Godrej and Boyce produced its last typewriter. This is likely to have been the last such machine to be manufactured in India and one of the last to be made anywhere in the world. Based in Mumbai, Godrej and Boyce had been making typewriters since 1955, though the history of typewriters in India extends far back before that to machines imported mainly from Britain and the United States in the late 19th century. The production of the last Indian typewriter can be taken as marking the end of a technological era, the age of the typewriter, not just in India, but globally. It invites reflection on the part that typewriters and other small-scale machines, many of them pioneered in the mid and late 19th century, have played in the making of the modern world and in the process we now think of as globalization. Although many of these global goods, bicycles and sewing machines are other examples, were initially made in the West, they came to have a profound social, economic and cultural influence on many other parts of the world. Indeed, one could hardly speak of them as global goods and as being representative of everyday technology unless they had found a significant place in the daily lives of people not just in the West, but also in Brazil and Argentina, in Egypt and South Africa, in China and India. This book is a study of small-scale technology in India between the 1880s, when many of these new industrially produced woods first came into use and began to find mass markets, and the 1960s, by which time they had become widely disseminated and, like the Godrej typewriters, locally produced. How and why did these machines came into general use? Who used them, who owned them, and who eventually made them locally? How did they affect not just economic life and productive processes, but also the way in which people worked? How did they become part of new ways of thinking about class, race, and gender, about politics and society at large? How far did they become harbingers of technological modernity or encounter opposition as unwelcomed agents of change? To what extent did the history of a specific technology or of clusters of interrelated technologies become so embedded in the recipient society that the status of such commodities as global goods can assume less importance than their local uses and vernacular meanings? This is a book about India. This is partly because India is the part of the world whose modern history I am most familiar with, and from which I can most easily locate the kind of examples I am looking for. But it is also that India, today one of the world's most populous countries, was also a large and significant part of the British Empire. And empire entails discussion of issues of technological transmission and use, of socio-economic change and political aspiration that were distinctive even if they were not altogether unique. Looking at India helps to decenter the history of technology and resituate it outside the familiar ambit of Western societies in which it is so often located. India is by no means the only such society for which this can be done, and in recent years, studies of Japan, China, Indonesia, the Middle East, and Latin America, among others, have also undertaken a similar task. But there is a virtue in selecting one particular location for close consideration rather than embarking on a wide-ranging comparative analysis, precisely because we can thereby better understand the global by interrogating the local. And, finally, India is now acknowledged to be one of the leading economies in our globalized world. It is all too easy today, in visiting India's megacities with their bustling traffic, high-rise office and apartment blocks, busy shopping malls, and gleaming automobile showrooms, to forget the humbler origins of India's technological transformation, or the dilemmas that informed India's earlier engagement with the machine age. It is important to understand how India, now hailed as an Asian giant, first advanced into technological modernity, and in particular to see how small technologies and small machines played a significant part as big technologies and big machines in the making of modern India. David Arnold is Emeritus Professor of Asian and Global History in the Department of History at the University of Warwick. Ask for the book at your local bookstore. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.